Now I've heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah. I did my best, wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth, I didn't come to fool. I didn't know I'll stand before the Lord of song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah.
This guy's probably fought hundreds of thousands of other super beings on the other planets he's destroyed, right? And we have to assume he's won.
I don't care how many demons he's fought and how many hells. He's never fought us. Us united.
Restore the Snyderverse! Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Are you feeling charitable? Then smash the subscribe button and the like button and the share button, and please do follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Man, and welcome to Friday's edition of the DC Multiverse Daily. Yes, we're talking about restoring the Snyderverse on today's DC Multiverse Daily. We did an amazing thing. We fought for the Snyder Cut. We got the Snyder Cut. But there were some dark moments there. But we never gave in. We never said die. We fought. We had to fight against mainstream media and one of the most powerful studios in the creation of Hollywood. And we won. We put our message across. But the fight isn't over yet. Now we have to fight to restore the Snyderverse. Now, for all you and me know, that's going to happen over on HBO Max with a Man of Steel 2, with a Batfleck straight-to-streaming series or movie. As far as we know, this is going to happen. It's looking good with Zack Snyder being given over $70 million to give us the Justice League he always meant to give us. That's a kind of symbol of faith from HBO Max. But just because it's looking good, it doesn't mean we should rest on our laurels. This is a very important moment. A moment where studios are delaying picture after picture. But over on HBO Max, it's not a problem. The Snyderverse isn't going to suffer. And the first victory, the Snyder Cut, that we're going to see next year is the first moment. We are fighting for the haircut. Let me tell you something. The fight for the haircut is so vital and pivotal in restoring the Snyderverse. Because the haircut, the way they dismantled it and got a trailer company to edit together the movie, we've never seen David Ayer's version of the movie. David said if we want to see what his vision was for his Suicide Squad, Go and read Marv Wolfman's Suicide Squad graphic novel? By the way, Wolfman is a genius of a comic book writer, and I tell you what, I want to check that out, and I will do. But the thing is, that fight to release the haircut is so important. And the Release the Haircut account over on Twitter is doing a great job. So many fans doing videos asking for it. I think they're doing great. And I think HBO Max are listening. I believe there shouldn't be any issue with getting that movie released, because I think it's only right. You can't release the Snyder Cut and ignore the haircut. That's just not fair. And I said it from the beginning. I absolutely want to see the haircut before I see the Snyder Cut, because that's the order they were supposed to be released in. So I don't understand the mentality of someone like Grace Randolph. Let's wait and see, because the release of the haircut could ruin the hype and the marketing for the Snyder Cut. No, because the haircut is part of Snyder's vision. He went and got David Ayer. It was him who told David to put Batman in that movie. It was him who told David to reference Superman and his death. Of course, very important. This was going to be a proper shared vision, right? The Snyderverse. That's what it was. These weren't standalone movies. There was a tale being told. There was an arc being sewn together. And the restoration of that vision can't just lie with Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut. Oh, no. It has to be more than that. We can't stop there. We have to keep fighting. We have to stop being divided. I know there's so many divisions in our fandom, like, is it TPZ and other kind of versions of our fandom, but I do believe united, we could create some special events. And it's so important. Like the RT Snyder Cut account can help us there. It can help itself. As the kind of forward bearer of this fandom, it's important that they're involved and they're interested. I think a lot of people think the fight's over, but it's not. You want to restore the Snyderverse? Keep hashtagging it. Keep showing them how interested we are. We had a Batfleck event a few months ago. Very powerful. Surprise, surprise, weeks later, Ben Affleck was announced to reprise his role as Batman in Andy Muschietti's Flash movie. Wow. Getting Michael Keaton's Batman in that as well. How exciting is that? But we can restore the Snyderverse. And as I say, we don't know if that restoration is actually happening. I'm pretty confident that it is. But we have to keep on reminding them how important this is. Not just for us, but for their bottom line. You know, we don't know when the Warner Brothers Pictures department of the DCEU will be able to release movies again. I'm talking about Flashpoint. I'm talking about Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. I'm talking about Aquaman 2. Yes, they're being filmed, but when will we be able to see them? If I can get my words out. With their insistence and their resistance to straight to streaming, there's an issue there. And they're not the only studio who's resistant to straight to streaming. But Zack Snyder and his Snyderverse are over on the HBO Max department, where Zack can do his thing, where Ben can do his thing, where Henry can do his thing in Man of Steel 2. And all these things can stream and broadcast over on HBO Max. And they need to get their shit together, of course, and go global. That's extremely important for those of us who don't happen to live in America. And by the way, I wouldn't want to live in America just to have HBO Max. Sorry, Americans, from what's going on over there, now I'll stay exactly where I am, safe and sound. But the battle to restore the Snyderverse is oh so important. And it can't just be words. And it can't be something we just talk about when we've just seen Man of Steel or BVS again. This must be something where we're as a group again, as we were with the Snyder Cut, no matter our divisions and our arguments. I've spoken about this before. How many people in the fandom have blocked me? I mean, I've blocked very few. I think I've blocked a couple. And I probably, if I could be bothered, I would unblock them. But we do need to unite, because the restoration of the Snyderverse is so important. This could be the only DC movies and content we can get in the next few years. With COVID-19 being an issue, and cinemas may not be able to house or attract the amount of people they did pre-COVID ever again, or at least for the next 2 years. So it's important we fight for this. It's important we keep on hashtagging this. As I say, I believe we will get the restoration of the Snyderverse. I can't wait to see Zack Snyder's Justice League. A brand new movie. A movie we have never seen before. A movie that's not a director's cut, but a totally brand new film. The continuation from where we left BVS with the death of Superman and the Earth rising. Wow. And from what I'm hearing, how that movie starts. Wow, wow, wow. One thing you know about Zack, he never lets you down with the drama and the character evolution. I know I'm not going to see an episode of Zack Snyder's Justice League that's a happy episode or a jokey episode with Superman who's getting drunk before he gets married to Lois Lane. I know we're going to get a totally serious thing. That's what I love about Zack Snyder. His visuals, the drama, the writing. It's beautiful. We know what we're going to get with Zack, and that's great. So we must keep on fighting for this. So if you were a bit weirded out at the beginning of this video because you saw me reacting to this trailer again, you probably thought it was the original reaction. No, that was just me being so pumped and excited for the Snyderverse. Restore the Snyderverse. And the only people who can make that happen is us, just like we did with the release of the Snyder Cut. I have to respond to the news that Doctor Strange will be involved in Spider-Man 3. I think this has everything to do with what's going on over on the DCEU with Flashpoint. It's a very similar situation. It was obvious that Doctor Strange was going to be involved. It's obvious we're going to get other Spider-Men in Spider-Man 3. We're going to get Tom Holland, obviously, and we're going to get Andy Garfield and Tobey Maguire. How exciting is that? And I believe they may even introduce the Miles Morales version as well. So the multiverse is very exciting. Now, I don't want to go on about the MCU because this is about DC. But I do think it means one thing. We are heading for a DCEU MCU crossover. I've discussed that so many times on this channel. I really do believe that's where we're headed. I kind of believe that's why James Gunn's over here. That Taika Waititi is starting to do projects over on HBO Max. I can sniff it. I can smell it. The MCU are going multiverse. The DCEU are going multiverse. And we're going to get Avengers versus the Justice League very soon. I even believe Justice League 2 is already in development. Now, I even believe on the other side of things over at Warner Bros. Pictures, there may be a whole fresh look at the Justice League with a new version of the characters. So I think that's quite exciting as well. But I do think after COVID-19 has cleared, there'll be no better celebration than a Justice League versus the Avengers. I think that would be so really exciting. And I think with both franchises embracing the multiverse, I think this is something we can really, really look forward to, and something that's happening factually, not a wish fulfillment thing from fans. I really believe this is where we're headed. It would, of course, be the biggest thing of all time, and I want it desperately. I think it could unify and unite both fans on both sides. I love the banter between MCU fans and DCEU fans, DC and Marvel fans. I think it's great. But I think this would be amazing. It would be the biggest picture of all time, done properly. Who's going to direct something so big? I think you'd need a couple of directors and a few writers. I think there'll be a couple from the MCU, not the MCEU, the MCU and the DCEU. So I think with both franchises embracing the multiverse, I think this is where we're headed. By the way, there's nothing more exciting than embracing the multiverse. Whether you're a fan of the the MCU or the DCEU. I think it's something extremely awesome. Bye! I just had to say goodbye to someone. I'm sorry about that. I'm not doing this video again. So where was I? I can't believe that. I cannot believe what just happened. I knew that was going to happen. She was still here. I knew it was going to happen. And now she's interrupting my video. And I'm really annoyed. And now she's destroyed my plane of thought. Anyway, we're going to start again. We're not going to start again, but we're going to carry on. So bear with me. So, as I was saying, the multiverse is very exciting. Because what you can do is you can say everything that's ever existed is canon, which is great. It stops arguments. With the MCU, it's not a bigger thing because most of the stuff pre-MCU isn't that good, apart from a Raimi Spider-Man, which is superior to the MCU Spider-Man, as far as I'm concerned. But I think in terms of a crossover between the DCEU and the MCU, I think that's something that is a viable thing, an exciting thing. And I think with cinemas under threat, this would be a great thing after COVID-19 to come in and have this as the big return for cinemas. Everyone would go back to cinemas to see it. You can make it a trilogy. It would be amazing. You know, comic books and superhero movies are so massive now. We relate to them. They're important. This is why there's so many arguments about so many things. I'm so happy about that. But the continuation of the domination of superhero movies must evolve. I think the multiverse evolves that. And I also believe a crossover between the MCU and the DCEU would keep it strong. And as I say, nothing would be better than the relaunch of cinemas, with this being the first movie. The Avengers versus the Justice League. But we have to put the Justice League first, of course, because the Justice League rock. But it would be amazing. I hope it does happen. Only time will tell. Let me know what you think. Comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with even more DC Multiverse Daily. Sorry about the interruption.